Hello everybody, welcome to the County Seat. I'm Chad Booth. Today we're going to talk about roads as part of our discussion. The state has a fund that is set aside for the improvement and expansion of roads to anticipate growth within the communities of Utah. The question is, are those funds being allocated proportionately for the areas of growth and the number of people that live in that area? Well, we'll discuss that a little bit later, but first we're going to talk about the blue lands. If you look at a state map, you'll see little checkerboards of blue land across the state. They are trust lands, state institutional trust lands, and their purpose is to generate money for our school children. Sometimes that money comes in the form of a land swap, and those land swaps can be tricky to make happen.
You have an item of value, but there's something else you want. You could try to exchange those items. It's called a simple trade.
Now, when two government agencies trade, the situation is very much the same, just remove the simple part. In the case of the Bureau of Land Management and the school and the Institutional Trust Lands Administration, making trades isn't common, but it does happen. These land swaps can be beneficial to both agencies.
The terminology that we're using is recreational land exchange. It is a congressionally mandated initiative for us, the BLM, and for SITLA lands to get together to exchange some lands. The lands that we, the BLM, have interest in is around Moab area. And the lands that SITLA is interested in from the BLM is on or somewhere around the Vernal area.
The lands near Vernal could hold oil reserves. That doesn't help the BLM much, but SITLA could lease them out, with the money going into their public school fund. Kevin Carter, director of the School Trust Lands in Utah, considers these trades as a good thing for the most part.
Land exchanges are always one of the first solutions offered by people to resolve management disputes or problems, but they are really, really difficult to make work. This was a land exchange where we were giving up really scenic lands around Moab and Castle Valley and out towards the Colorado border. Beautiful scenic lands that didn't have much income generating potential, but had a lot of scenery and recreation value. And so we thought it best that we should get out of our ownership there and instead acquire lands that had income generating potential.
The process of going through a land exchange is a long and complicated one, but the payoffs can mean more land open for recreation on the BLM side and more money for public schools on the SITLA side.
Some of the things that we do is to identify what lands we might be interested in. And the second part is that we need to do things like an appraisal, appraise the lands that equal value from the state side and then the value from the BLM side. That's the step and the stage that we're in right now with this recreational land exchange.
The deal seemed like a no-brainer, with everyone supportive of the idea. The BLM is still required to meet all the standards set out in the National Environmental Policy Act before moving forward. And with the Moab and Vernal trade, everyone was pleased with the outcome. Even with the support of all the groups involved, crossing all the T's and dotting all the I's, land trades still have to jump more hurdles than an Olympic sprinter.
I'm not aware of any organized group that was opposed to this land exchange, and still it took 5 years to get it through Congress. 2 years ago we finally got it through Congress. We're still working on it to get it done almost 2 years later. So even an exchange that nobody's opposed to, it is just so hard to get all of the moving parts to come together and to make it work.
We've all swapped something at some time or another. If done correctly, both parties are happy and can move on. With SITLA and the BLM, the stakes are higher, but the desired outcome is the same.
It's already taken several years with a few bumps in the road, and there are still a few hoops to jump through. But hopefully, in the end, both the BLM and SITLA will have new lands to show for it. For the County Seat, I'm Susan Wood.
It is the interest off of the trust fund established by SITLA that actually funds the schools so that it's perpetuating. The actual base amount just stays in that fund and is invested. Well, stay with us. We'll be back with more of the County Seat. When we come back, we will talk about roads and expansion in the growing sections of the state of Utah.
Discover Logan, Utah. It's in your own backyard. Book your getaway today.
Almost 45% of the oil produced in Utah, 7.8 million barrels, comes from Duchesne County. That oil feeds our state economy, provides job growth, and supports local business. Here in Duchesne County, we're working to make Utah an economic, cultural, and technological leader. Whether you're here for business or pleasure, Duchesne County will welcome you with open arms and invite you to explore all the beauty of the Uinta Mountains. Duchesne County, close enough for business, far enough to get away.
Imagine a place where the world's largest concentration of scenic attractions can be found, where radiant cliffs of 2 national parks and 3 state parks tower to kiss the azure sky. Come and visit any one of the many memorable sites and events that Bryce Canyon Country, Garfield County, Utah has to offer. Drive along National Scenic Byway 143 and All-American Road Highway 12 and experience the ultimate adventure.
The State of Utah School and Institutional Trust Lands Administration. SITLA manages 3.5 million acres of Utah lands with the express purpose of furthering the education of Utah students while promoting local industry, oil and gas, even residential development, all at the same time. Through the careful use of trust lands, we distributed more than $22 million to Utah schools last year. The State of Utah School and Institutional Trust Lands Administration, building the state's permanent school fund.